Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Cosplay Bites, the only place where you'll learn of the bits and bytes of the cosplay world, convention coverage, cosplay guests, spotlights, and more. So sit back, relax, and enjoy getting a look into bringing a character to life. This is Cosplay Bites. All right, long time no see, guys. I'm back with another episode of Cosplay Bites, and this time around, I have the ever so lovely Lara Lunardi.
Aw. Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yep. So, in talking with her in the lead up to this, we decided to. Basically, this episode is kind of revolving around her, so it could be like a pseudo interview, but mainly with her, I'd say, experience in being somewhat involved in the gaming industry and all the kind of things she'd been doing lately. It's just been very inspiring, and I wanted to talk to her about that for you guys for today.
Yeah, that's really nice of you.
So August has started, and this marks the 5-year anniversary of me starting up my blog. So today, well, for Friday, today, Thursday, a post already went up on Akakioga's Lucina from Fire Emblem, and then I got a struck first for tomorrow, as well as a small business shout out for the month, and a couple of other more diverse, wide selection of cosplayer that either I haven't featured before or one that I haven't shown off in a really long time, along with rebranding my blog, new logos and whatnot for both my blog and my Patreon and all that good stuff.
That's awesome. Good for you. 5 years, that's pretty crazy.
5 years and almost close to 850 posts.
That's amazing.
Most of them by me. Yay!
Yay. That is something to be proud of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I first found Lara, I think, just by browsing cosplays, and then I got won over by your Bikini Samus. And
Oh my god, yes.
the
Back when I
rest is
still did
history.
that kind of cosplay. It is, yeah.
Yep.
History. Yeah. Oh boy. I remember that costume. I'm very embarrassed of it.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. It's
Okay.
Huh?
What?
No, it's very revealing, and like I don't know. When I was 18, I was all about that kind of stuff, but I feel like I grew out of it. Kinda. Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit. Yeah.
But then that's when I fell in love with all your other Samus cosplays, and I mean you've pretty much done Samus to a T.
Yeah, I'm pretty obsessed.
Like you got the bikini, you got the original Zero suit, the Justin Bailey outfit, and then the full blown Various suit, along with photos of it where you edited it to make it like the fusion suit. Is that the purple one?
Oh, that's actually not edited. I actually painted the suit.
Oh no. Yeah. Oh no, that's right.
The gravity suit. Yeah, no, I repainted it. Yeah. So I went first for the classic. My cat's here. Sorry.
That's all right. No one's gonna see it.
Yeah, I know, right? She's just laying down on me. So I started off with the orange design, and it was meant to be the classic one, but I just didn't feel like the colors of the costume were very pleasing. So I ended up painting it purple, and my plan now is to do the phase-in suit. So I have to paint it silver and black, and then I'm gonna go to the copper tone as opposed to the orange, and then I'll just leave it at that.
So you're gonna go through every single outfit, and then you're gonna end it back at the original Various suit, but a different shade?
Yes, I am.
That's a clever way of doing it.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if the paint won't chip, because that could very well happen. It's an experiment, and I already want to make a whole other outfit. Like a brand new one, like a more legit. Every time I finish the costume, I want to get back to it and redo it all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. I definitely wrote about it on my blog. You guys should go definitely check it out.
I remember.
Yeah, and you did other outfits like Morrigan,
Yes.
Fallout. You love Fallout.
I freaking love Fallout. Fun fact about Morrigan. When I made that outfit, I was 18, and the sewing work wasn't bad, but I got better throughout the years. And when I think I was like around 19, I looked at the costume one day and I was like, "This is garbage," and I threw it in the trash. And I'll be honest with you, ever since I have gotten rid of that costume, I have not been able to have the same shape going on and the same quality of seams ever since. I have no idea why. I've tried to take on that project back at least 6 times, and
Oh,
it
wow.
never looks. Yeah, I'm thinking of even commissioning it because it's just, I can take on any project but that one for whatever reason. Yeah,
So weird.
it is.
Other outfits I'm trying to think of. You did Chun-Li,
Yeah.
pretty sure.
Yes, I did.
And then Black Widow.
Black Widow, yes. That is actually a real replica from the movie. So it's like a
Oh, the
legit.
suit?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
it's very legit.
I'm just looking at all my prints, see if there's an outfit that some girl's wearing, and I know. Oh wait, yeah, Lara made this.
Yeah. I mean, have you ever noticed that, like in cosplay, there's costume trends, just like in fashion? It's like a cosplayer will do, let's say, so from looking here, I see the Black Cat, right? Like, and it comes in waves. Black Cat's not a character that just came out, but
Right.
when one person does it, everyone else starts doing it. And that's normal. I'm fine with that. It's pretty cool, but it's just interesting to see that it follows the same pattern as fashion,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I definitely remember certain crazes like Misty was a craze from Pokemon.
Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad.
Oh yeah. Yep. Elsa. I remember Elsa was a
Oh
craze.
yeah,
my
you're
God, there were
right.
Elsa's everywhere you look.
Elsa's everywhere. Deadpool for the boys.
All the Tifas,
Yes.
which made my heart happy.
Yes.
All the Starfires made my heart happy.
Yes.
So
And
many.
it's still going on. Like Starfire is super popular still because of the reboot, right?
Well, because of the well, you mean the TV show that doesn't look very good?
Yeah, I haven't watched the TV show yet. I don't think it's out. There's just like there's just like a little trailer that I watched at
Well,
Comic-Con.
yeah, for the incoming show, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not bothered by the characters. I think they all look really legit, and I think that the first shots of Starfire that came out, they were not very flattering, but I think
Nope.
it makes sense. And I got the chance to meet Diop at Comic-Con and watch a panel of young women that are making it in the industry, and she was one of the speakers. And I'll have to tell you that
Oh wow.
she was fantastic. I'm very glad I got to meet that woman, and she is on top of her stuff. She not only does, like big movies and big series that are funded by people with lots of cash, she also does a lot of indie stuff. So I have a lot of respect for her. I want to see her acting as Starfire because I have a feeling that she's gonna nail it. And I also have a feeling that a lot of people don't like how she looks because of her skin tone. I've seen a lot of very racist comments, and that makes me very upset.
I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen that go around. Like she even took off her social media because it was gotten out of hand.
That is, it's not okay. Yeah, same thing with Sylvanas this week. People are not pleased with how evil she is, it seems. So they're attacking the developers. Like, that's not something you should do.
Yeah, just, I don't know. Geek culture can be quite vicious if things don't go their way. Like,
yeah, I mean, we're all very passionate, right? Like, we
Right.
tend to defend what we're passionate about. But I just feel like when not all geeks are developers, not all geeks are production workers or filmmakers. So they
Right.
only understand the fandom. They don't understand necessarily the creative process behind it. So they don't have much respect for that. And as
Yeah.
someone who works in both fields, I can tell you that I feel like that makes me a little bit more open to redesigns and to things
Right.
that are non-traditional.
Right. I mean, because that Titan show is going to be on DC's streaming service, so I don't know if they'll let people have it for free for like the first 30 days. So
Yeah.
I'll give it a shot. Just the whole F Batman thing kind of threw me off because it's like, it's not my Dick Grayson. Nope.
Yep, I know, I get
Nope.
it. I get it. Yeah. Yeah.
If it was Jason Todd, I'd be more understanding, but nope.
No, I totally get it. I cannot imagine how critical I would be if a Metroid movie was ever made. Heck, I am very critical of the games themselves. Like when they put out Other M, I was like, that is not the Samus I know. But it was still an okay game.
I
Yeah.
never played it. I think I heard too many bad things about it that turned
It
me
is
off from
not
playing
that
it.
bad. It's fun to play. It's not traditionally Metroid, but that doesn't bother me anymore.
I mean, I've never cleared a traditional Metroid game in my life.
See, so there you go. Like,
Yeah, so I mean,
look at it with fresh eyes. I think that's a wonderful experience. Yeah.
I've tried Metroid Prime. I couldn't do it.
Really? Why is that?
I don't know. I think I got past the first boss, and then I just like, okay, what do I do now?
Oh my god, I'm
I
gonna hit you.
Like I need a game guide, and I never got a game guide. I was just like,
Yeah.
nope.
Yeah, no, it can be a tricky game. Yeah, there's a lot of hidden spots, and like I think that like what makes a game good is not necessarily how just fun it is to play, but also how well the players can understand a game. That's really important because, like you said, you stopped playing it because you couldn't figure out what to do, and that's normal. I did too. I had my first Metroid runs are always with a walkthrough because I can never figure out what to do, and that's flaw in game development, unfortunately.
Right. So, before we dive a little deeper, you helped out in advertising this episode, and I got some people who were asking some questions.
Awesome.
So I figured I'll read through some of these, and I'll try to pronounce your handle. If I butcher it, oops. I have, what is this? I got at Hirsch Dude asking, when were you aware you wanted to come to the U.S. to study? It seemed you prepped in advance given your English mastery.
That's really funny because when I came to the US, my English was pretty terrible. And I was made fun of the entire time by the friends I was friends with at the time, by classmates, by everyone. Like, it just, the conversation about treating your immigrants well hadn't started yet. And it was very customary of me to be made fun of. So I was self-conscious, and I started to take it more seriously, and I feel like it's just easy for me to like blend into a culture and to like hear things and understand how they're pronounced. Like maybe because of my music background, but no, I never actually took official English classes in order to move here. It was all through video games that, like my parents, they were just sick and tired of having me ask them to translate stuff because they spoke English, not fluently. Like they're not fluent. They come here and they ask me for help now, but back then they knew some of it, and I was a 6-year-old that really wanted to figure out what to do in Zelda, so they gave me a dictionary, and that's how I figured out.
Oh.
Yeah, I would mispronounce pretty much everything, but that came with time.
Yeah. Same person. Have any of your assets or design ideas made it into available games?
Yeah, no, they have. So I've done very minor 3D and 2D projects, a lot of like mobile games. So when I was in college, I was pursuing 3D art. that's what I thought I wanted to become. And it's really normal that like in a degree like this, you feel kind of like you want to lean towards something that you might not end up becoming,
Yeah.
because I feel like right now the game development programs teach you everything. They teach you from writing a story to making 3D models and to rigging a character, yeah, putting in a skeleton. So they're preparing you kind of to be an indie gamer. But what they don't tell you is that if you actually want to make it into something like this, you probably should go through a college program that will only teach you 3D or that will only teach you 2D art, so you can truly master those skills. And at the time, I definitely wasn't a master, but I somehow managed to make it into my DigiCat, or make it into like it wasn't my DigiDog, but it was basically like the following game with the dog. I don't even remember. It was really cute though. They're like pet games.
Yeah.
My first one was DigiCat, I believe, and it was, just so you know, the game came out on the BlackBerry.
Oh, that's
Who has a I know. Eventually, it made it to iOS and Android, but it was funny because we got so many downloads because no one develops for BlackBerry. So it was kind of cool. It was an interesting experience. And since then, I've mostly been doing production stuff and anything that's related to like putting a team together. Somehow I guess I'm good at telling people what to do.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then I got one more question by, oh, for God's sakes, I got two different windows opened up. From at Warded Microbe 36 asks, is it fun designing games or is it hard, and are you ever short on ideas?
It can be both. I think that part of being a professional in the field is that you have to deliver a project no matter whether you're short on ideas or not. You have to make sure that they work, and you have to make sure that whoever is consuming these products is happy about it, right? So yeah, there are awful days. There are great days, but I don't know. It's just, it varies so much. I'm definitely short on ideas a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's like I don't know. I don't have a happy place where I go to get creativity flowing or something like that. It just sort of happens. It varies with mood, with what's going on in my life. But no matter what, I have to make sure that whatever I am delivering, whether it's a freelance project or whether I'm in a full-time position, I have to deliver my best because that's what I'm expected and that's what I'm paid to do.
Right.
So I think that it's not just about the creativity. It's
right.
like, yeah.
Okay. So that's it for the question that I got.
If you don't mind, I would like to go back to the very first question because he asked me that, right? Like he asked me about the planning of my move. And this is not a story that I tell people a lot, but it was unexpected. I didn't finish high school being like, oh, I'm going to move to America and that's what's going to be it. My parents, they sent me for a 1 month. I don't know. It was like an English course, but it was only 3 hours a week. And really, like, I just got to go around and do stuff and explore. And I was 17 years old and I had no clue of what I was doing. And I met a group of friends that I'm very close with. They're not in the cosplay world or anything. If anything, they're more of like, I would say, they're into the fighting game community because that's something I was huge fan of. Yeah, and I just click with them. And they showed me that here I could study game development. In Brazil, that's not something that I ever had the option because I had gotten into engineering school at that age. And that's a big deal. It was a big deal to my parents. And to me, I didn't give a rat's ass because I didn't want to be an engineer. I wasn't good at physics. I was struggling, and I knew that I wasn't going to be able to carry on. And when I was presented with the idea of making games for a living, that it sounded very attractive. And
Yeah.
I moved here, and I went to a really, really crappy school. I'm gonna drop their name just because I don't care. I went to Mount Sierra College. No one's ever heard of it, but they accepted me like this. Oh my god! I just hit myself in the head by accident. Karma. But yeah, they accepted me super fast. And when I came back to Brazil, I already had signed a lot of documents that basically meant that they were going to provide me with the student visa, right?
Right.
And
Okay.
my parents didn't want to let me come because they were like, no, you're 17. Shut up. You don't get to choose anything. You're going to be an engineer. And I'm very insistent. Like, I'm notoriously insistent. Ask my coworkers, ask friends, ask anyone that has had to deal with me. If I have an idea on my mind and I think there's a remote chance of it working out and doing something great in the future for me, I will not let go of it. And
Yeah.
I basically just got them real tired. And it was like a whole month of me, like every day going to my mom being like, Mom, you know I'm not going to be an engineer, right? And she's like, oh my God, I'm not sending you to the US. It's expensive. You have school for free here. You have everything for free in Brazil. Why are you going to the US? And I was like, but can I study game development in Brazil then? And they wouldn't let me because it was a 2-year program. It wasn't an official college degree yet. By now, I believe they do have some 4-year programs, but they wouldn't let me because they're like, you're going to graduate and you're not going to get any jobs. And unfortunately, they are correct about that. The scarcity of jobs in that field in Brazil is immense, even bigger than here. So
Yeah.
I ended up just convincing them, and
Oh, good for you.
yeah, it was very difficult and very stressful on both ends, mine
Yeah.
and theirs. But I'm here. I graduated. It's been almost 6 years. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So your parents pretty much put you into engineering school?
It was my choice because, funny enough, I didn't think I was going to be able to get in. But do you want to hear an even more funny story? Is that the person that basically the system in Brazil to get into public school is very difficult because it's free and it's a really good education. So
Okay.
there's a lot of people competing for the slots, and the person had scored only 5 points above me, but they gave up. They were like, oh, I don't want to go to engineering school. So they picked me instead. And I was like, God damn it. So I didn't have an excuse to not go to like a school that was so good. It was all paid for. And it was a program that, to my family's eyes, was going to have me set for life. Granted, I would probably be making a lot more money as an engineer right now at this moment, but
yeah.
I just wouldn't be very happy.
Exactly same boat on my end.
Yeah.
My parents put me in computer science for programming.
Yeah.
I was always on my laptop growing up, and I kind of still am. But it was like, and I wanted to do game design because of my friend who actually did game design up at a college in, I want to say Vermont, and now he's out in California, I think, doing game design, I think.
Yeah.
But I took a week-long program at the same school that my brother graduated from, and I did not like it. It was just very bored, like programming, like stuff in front of a computer, like staring at a computer screen, just doing some programming.
Yeah.
And then that turned me off of game design, and I wanted to do animation.
Yeah.
So my parents thought computer science with a minor in art, but I despise programming because that's what both of my parents did.
Oh, the programmers.
Yeah, and they don't like they have days where they don't like their job, and I'm like, I don't want to be like that. So I eventually transferred to another school where I eventually graduated from, and I tried out an animation course. Didn't like it.
Good. At least you tried it. And that's so important because so many people enroll into these super expensive schools and they don't have any, like your first year in college, you can bet you're not going to get to see how the industry actually is like. They're just going to hit you with the basic stuff and you're going to think it's okay. And then it's like not until your second year that you're like, oh, maybe I don't like this.
Right.
And I'm so glad you had that experience because that's great.
So, and so then they were like, okay, well, you don't want to, because it was, my degree was in graphic design with a focus in animation, but then they decided to swap my focus into web design, which is still like programming, so I still kind of hate it, but it was like the only thing we can do to make sure that you're not still in school for who knows how many more years, because I had already finished 3 years.
Yeah.
And then I transferred, so they essentially gave me an extra year above the quote unquote like normal amount of time people go to college for.
Well, I took my sweet time to graduate. I transferred schools a lot. You know, my first school, it was not only terrible, the staff was also not very friendly.
Oh boy.
And something had happened, something very serious that got swept under the carpet. And I decided that if they were not going to back me on that, I had to leave. So I did. And I moved to Seattle and I finished the rest of gaming school that I had to do up there, and it was a great experience. Very different people, completely different college. I got an internship with Robot Chicken here in LA, and I decided to transfer. Yeah, it was great. It was a good experience. And then I moved to LA, and I finished my last year here. So that put me short of like, I don't know, I graduated maybe like 6 months to a year after what I should have. I don't think necessarily that's a big deal. Like, sure, more money goes into it, but if you think about it, when you're 18, do you think you necessarily know what you want to do for the rest of your life? You probably don't, right? Like, you're probably very young.
I don't think I did. I had an idea, but I wasn't too completely sure.
Yeah, it's really rough, and they're taking you out of high school. You're a child. Because as much as we think that we're grown-ups, like now that I look back, I had no idea what I wanted to do. And I'm very lucky that I got into something that is considered media arts. So if I'm not doing games, I have the opportunity to hop into design, or I have the opportunity to hop into animation, or I have the opportunity to hop into movies. But I'm lucky. Can you imagine someone who went to law school? They can't be an engineer just if they feel like it, right? It's really rough.
Right. They don't have a lot of options to deviate from.
No, they don't.
Like if lawyering doesn't work out for them, yeah.
Yeah. Well, my sister, she's a good example. She graduated at age 30. She went through first physical, like it would be basically like she was training to be like a gym instructor or like someone who works with physical therapy, and then she was told by my dad that wasn't fit for her, and that was like he wasn't proud of that as a choice. So unfortunately, she was a fantastic professional in that field, but because of that sort of thing, like she changed, right? She went to architecture, which is what both my parents' majors is. She didn't like it, and then she went through law school. At the end of law school, she didn't like it either, but she graduated, and she's still working on the field. But it's really rough. Career is like it's a very delicate thing, and I feel like our educational system is just not preparing us for happiness or for, I don't know.
Right.
There needs to be a change, right?
Yeah, there should be. I don't know. So would you say cosplay has like kind of like enhanced or like, I don't know how to say it, like helped out in what you're doing now? Because one of the other things that you're doing, for people who don't know, is that you partnered with, I want to say singer.
Yes.
Okay,
correct.
I thought I was gonna get my sewing machine company mixed up.
No, you're right. Yeah.
You partnered up with Singer to do a show that's
Yeah.
called Geekin It, and you basically have guests on the air, and you make outfits or stuff based around video games using quote unquote the provided sewing machinery given to you.
Yeah, you are correct. It is a singer partner show. We make all sorts of things from sewing to crafting. This Friday, there's a new episode that's going to go up in the air, and we made the Fortnite llamas. So I'm not only getting to like work with Singer Sewing Company, I'm actually having the opportunity to partner with game companies to, sort of get this type of content out there to make sure that their audience is able to see something different rather than just gameplay. Because I feel like that's super important. Like when you are passionate about a franchise, you want to know more about it, right? And it's
Right.
something that just like it spikes creativity in people, and that's like I'm very fortunate that this is happening because cosplay has only helped me. And I'll be honest with you, in college, I had an instructor. I'll never forget the day that he went through my website. And this was that first crappy college, by the way, because the other ones, they were super supportive of it. He told me that it was extremely unprofessional and that I looked like a prostitute.
Oh God.
Oh God, indeed.
Oh
And I was
no.
like, "Oh, friend, this is bad. You probably shouldn't tell your student that." But he said that it was extremely unprofessional and that no game companies are looking to hire girls just because they're hot. So it isn't my fault that he was uneducated to the point he couldn't see the artistic, like the artistic stuff behind it. That's
Right.
his problem. But I took that to heart, and I thought that cosplay was just going to be taken as a hobby and that I was never going to be able to actually make something out of it. And I am surprised to see that there's so many companies interested in the subject.
I was
And
gonna say, yeah, you got a company that like they hire a cosplayer. They freaking, I think Blizzard, one of them I know, with them partnering with like Zach Fisher when he does his crazy, batshit crazy designs.
yeah,
Borderlands, I think they're one company that does it. Well, not Borderlands, 2K. They like company will release like reference kits
yeah,
with like exact like color swatches of what goes where on
yeah.
which part of the outfit, and it's like definitely interesting. Square Enix, I think, does that too with some of their characters.
Yeah, they do. I think that if you are a game or media company and you're completely unaware that cosplay is taking the world by storm, like you're being left behind. When I partner with certain companies, they always tell me, they're like, "Oh, we see this cosplay thing and we know it's huge," and then I have to explain, like a little bit of the community, and I hope I'm doing a good job and I'm doing everyone justice.
Right.
But it's really interesting to see that it's such a big thing. Like, look at Simplicity. They're making cosplay patterns just because there's so many people. There's so much money to spend on cosplay and to be made.
Yeah.
If you think about it, I think that I'm just very fortunate that I'm able to use cosplay as something that goes along together with my career choice, because as of now it's only benefited me. So screw you, college instructor, you were wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I know cosplayers like Ricky Lakoti, Yaya Han. They partner with, like, Ricky does with Simplicity.
Yeah.
Yaya's partnered with Joanne Fabric
Yes.
for her own legit fabric line,
Yeah.
and it's just interesting. Like all
It's
the shows that
wonderful.
have came out, like Cosplay Melee, Heroes of
Yeah.
Cosplay.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think when I used to follow Yaya since I was 13 years old, and same with all these cosplayers. And living in a small country, I never really thought that I was actually going to make it out here and have the pride to call some of these people my friends now. Yaya is someone who I've always looked up to. Just to be like fair, we're not friends, we're only acquainted. Her husband is a real nice dude though. I'm a huge fan of her work, and not just of her work but also her work ethics, because she is not just thinking about, oh, what am I gonna do today, and what character am I gonna dress up so my fans are gonna like it. She's thinking, she's paving a brilliant future. She already has the brilliant future, right? Like, having your own fabric line, that is like ultimate career goals for me. It's fantastic. Although I have not studied fashion, I'm very knowledgeable of the subject, and just seeing the way that she's done more than just release photos online or more than just do the basics. She's taken it a step further, and it's truly inspiring. Like, these people, they're nuts, and I love them.
Yep. Yaya's definitely a pioneer in like bringing cosplay to the mainstream outlet. Yeah.
Yes, she is.
She's always sweet to talk with at cons when I get to see her.
Yeah.
So.
I think I've got to meet her a couple times. The first time I had just moved here, and like I couldn't believe that she was standing in front of me, and it was just crazy. Yeah, right. I get starstruck. Working in TV production, like that might not be the best thing, because like oftentimes like I meet my YouTuber heroes, or I meet my celebrity heroes because I either booked them for a show or I'm doing a show with them, and that's nuts. There's not a single time that like I don't get home and like I cry, because it's like, oh my god, I got to meet them, and like I got to do something with them. Like, how freaking crazy is that? Like, I'm really humbled by these experiences.
Yeah, same with me when I met Jessica for the first time when I went to my first con.
Yeah,
solely went to see her, and it was just. Yeah, I was starstruck, and she knew who I was too, because I was still active on her fan page and old website way back in the day.
Yeah,
I can't believe I said back in the day.
Back in the day.
Considering meeting her, it was that's 6 years ago.
Yeah, that's
2012 with PAX East when she won the Lollipop Chainsaw competition.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I still get starstruck when I see her at cons, and I'm like, I really shouldn't, because we're kind of really close to each other, and all these other cosplayers that I somehow managed to meet, including you. So
I'm just a regular person. These people are, I don't know, they are the amazing ones. I'm just here watching, taking notes, planning the future. I'm nothing, but
no, you're something.
I want to be something one day, but I don't know. I'm too young, too
You're
dumb.
something to me.
It's true.
Yeah, anything else you wanted to add about the like cosplay, being in the gaming industry, stuff like that?
I think that whenever people talk to me about these subjects, there's always fear behind it. And when I started college, I was also sharing that sort of experience, because I was constantly told by instructors and by industry professionals that it is ruthless out there, and if you're not likable, no one's going to ever give you a job, and if you're not extremely good at what you do, you're never going to make it. And I just wanted to say that that is not necessarily true. The industry is not made of assholes. That is something that I was under the impression, because I was constantly told by my instructors that like, oh, no one's going to treat you right. You're basically going to be shit forever. And that's not true. It's super not true, and it's not fair. And I hope that, because I've seen so many classmates be discouraged by people that should be inspiring and encouraging them. And depending on where you go to school, I'm sure at USC that doesn't happen, right? Like it's a great school. But I know it happens in other for-profit schools and in other like game development programs. So I just don't want people to feel discouraged by the people that should be teaching them that they should keep banging, like on the same key, and keep like, just do it. Because if you do give up, yes, of course, then you're not going to make it. But if you don't, and if you keep trying, eventually you will find something.
Yeah.
That's it.
Good work. Yeah. I gotta try to keep that in mind for my own difficulties with jobs.
I I struggle with that too. I
Yeah.
struggle with it. Yeah, everyone does.
Yeah. There any kind of cosplay that you think you'd want to talk about in terms of like an interesting, like, I don't know, like sewing technique or kind of something interesting that you made recently where you wanted to share like the process that went into making it? Or
Yeah, we can. I have so many things to talk about. We're
So many
never going to
things.
run out of things to talk about. This is going to be a 7-hour podcast. Woo!
Oh
Buckle
god.
up.
Buckle up, guys.
I think that recently what I had the most fun making was Triceratops from Fortnite.
Okay.
That costume was extremely warm, and I want you guys to learn from me and never make a costume out of leather, because
Oh.
that's gonna kill you. I was sweating. There was like a stream of sweat coming out of my arms, and I was so embarrassed. And I'm so glad that I was wearing gloves. So yeah, it was pretty disgusting. I think that this is more of like what you shouldn't do, right? Because I should have made the entire costume out of spandex, and I was like, no, it's a dinosaur. Leather is gonna look cool, and it was very difficult to work with because it's like a thick material. So my machine, I used a heavy duty machine. That was the only thing that could sew through it. And the patterning was extremely complicated to make that dinosaur head entirely out of sewing and not out of just gluing foam parts.
Right.
It was so hard to make. And I was like, I was approached by them to just like show up at E3 in a costume. And I was like, yeah, yes, queen, I will do it. And then I made that costume in 2 weeks. It cost so much money because I had to outsource everything locally, and I couldn't buy anything online. It wasn't gonna get here in time.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it was super expensive, and it was a lot of labor, like intense sewing for that one. But it was fun, and I really liked the results. I used a real Jurassic World mask for it, like a mask that would open its mouth for the prop. And then I covered it. Yeah, I covered it in Evafoam, and I did like the glue dots to make sure it looked like a dinosaur skin. And yeah, it was funny. It was a really funny project.
Yeah. And it came out good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you got nothing else to add, I guess we can wrap up.
All right.
For this episode. Be sure to follow Lara Lunardi pretty much every social media, right?
Yes. So my agents changed my handle to everything Lara Lunardi now. So
okay.
It was a surprise when I woke up one day. I was like, did I get hacked? And it was just there. And I was like, okay, this is actually kind of cool. I don't mind.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you got my stuff on my end, Twitter, Instagram, Blue Lightning Costs, and then separate accounts for my blog itself. I got a Patreon that's free to view, and next month episode, at the moment, I believe my guest will be cosplayer Oh My Sophie. And then
oh my.
Yeah. What we're going to talk about, I have no idea. I'm going to assume she'll be at a con soon, so we'll talk about that. If not, I think I have a backup plan. So stay tuned for next month's episode, and